Watch me crumb coat a cake while I talk about starting a cottage bakery from home. Hi there, this is part 4 in my beginner series where I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about starting a cottage bakery. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about the super boring side of having a cottage bakery. And no one really gets excited about it, and no one really talks about it, which is taxes and sales tax. But don't worry, I'm going to keep this super simple. When you sell baked goods from home, the IRS usually sees you as a sole proprietor. That just means you are the business, no LLC or corporation required. Super simple. You'll report your bakery income and expenses on something called a Schedule C. It's a form that shows how much you made and what you spent on things like ingredients, packaging, part of your kitchen supplies, your electricity, and stuff like that. The difference is your profit, and that's what you pay taxes on. And you have to keep receipts for all of those expenses. That will lower the amount of your taxable income, which means you could owe less to the IRS. And the next thing you need to think about, which I really was not thinking about when I first started my business, is sales tax. Every single state is different. Some don't charge sales tax on homemade baked goods and others do. And sometimes only if they're sold ready to eat, like a farmer's market or an event. So you have to check your state's Department of Revenue website for cottage food or home bakery rules. And that's where you'll see whether you need to be charging sales tax or not. And if your particular state does require you to charge sales tax, you technically owe that money to the state regardless of whether you are charging it or not. So if you don't charge a customer the 7% or 9% or whatever it is required by your state, you technically still owe that money to the state. It's also a good idea to set aside a small portion of what you make for taxes so that at the end of the year, you're not stuck with a huge tax bill. How much you set aside and how much you're going to owe depends on how much your profit is. For a very low profit, low income, the percentage that you have to pay in taxes is significantly less. So I don't know, I'd recommend maybe 5% to 15% or more. It honestly depends. I couldn't tell you how much you need to set aside, but it is definitely something to think about. Anyways, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I know it's the boring stuff and we don't really care about it, but it is very important so that you don't end up screwing yourself when you start your business. And that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And of course, in the comments, let me know what you would like to learn about so I can include it in my beginner series. Okay, bye guys.